Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are doing yet again another installment of my Ninjago Hot Takes series. This is just the series of videos where I ask you guys, the audience, to submit some of your Ninjago hot takes, and I chose a few to discuss for today's video. It's been quite a while since we've done a hot takes video, and I do apologize for that. I'm going to try to do these more often for the new year, but as per usual, I put up a community tab post a couple of days ago asking you guys to submit some of your spicy or controversial Ninjago opinions. That is, of course, what a hot take is, and with that being said, I must give a very quick disclaimer. I will indeed be showcasing usernames for all of the hot takes that are presented in today's video, but do not take that as an invitation to go out of your way to harass anybody whose name is featured in today's video. These are supposed to be controversial and spicy Ninjago opinions. You're not supposed to agree with these. And like I said, I did choose a couple of hot takes to present in today's video and discuss in full, so without further ado, why don't we go ahead and dive on into this newest round of Ninjago hot takes. So for the first one, it reads as follows. Hot take: the ninjas' outfits for seasons 8 and 9 were absolutely horrendous, especially for the minifigure versions. I thought this one was relatively interesting because I partially agree with this take. I'm not a huge fan of the season 9 hunted outfits for the ninja, but the season 8 Sons of Garmadon designs are some of my favorite ninja outfits of all time. I think they look rather unique and uniform next to one another, while the hunted designs are a little bit more chaotic and not very much for me. And especially for the minifigure versions, I wonder if they're referring to especially the infamous masks that came with the seasons 8 and 9 minifigures, which were carried over from the Ninjago movie, and that design is infamously a hassle to swap around with your figures, so maybe that's what they're referring to. Either way, I just like this take. Here's one that I thought was pretty funny. Hot take: I'm sorry to say, but I think Lloyd should have stayed dead in the Fire Temple and Kai should have been the Green Ninja. If the weapons didn't choose him, Master Wu would have just had to make him the Green Ninja anyway. I love how this is obviously coming from a Kai user, and nothing against Kai fans. I think Kai fans are fantastic. I really like the character of Kai as well. He may be my least favorite ninja, but that doesn't mean I hate the guy. I just think it's funny how this take literally just says, you know what? Lloyd should have died in the Fire Temple. That way Kai should have been the Green Ninja. I just really like this take, so I thought I would include it here. I don't agree, obviously, but I just found this take to be really funny and really unique. Hot take: Kai and Nia's parents really suck. In season 7, it shows how they really didn't try to fight to stay with their children at all, and then when they are free, we don't see them until Kai calls them. And then we don't see them basically at all in season 16 after their daughter is back from being in the ocean for a year. I can see where this comment is coming from. I can see why they would come to this conclusion. Rei and Maya are not really in the Ninjago series all that much. I don't really agree with the take that they should have fought back harder during season 7 when they were being kidnapped by Crux, but I gotta admit, they do have a point here when they say that basically we don't see them at all, especially in Ninjago Crystallized, because you'd think that after Nia came back, they would be one of the first to be there and see their daughter once again. I don't know if I would blame Rei and Maya specifically though. I feel like that's just a case of the writers not really finding room to include them because there was so much going on in Ninjago Crystallized already, but I do understand where this user is coming from. Like I said, I do think that is a little bit weird, but I don't think it's Rei and Maya's fault. This one's kind of long, but I do think is worth it. Just bear with me here. Ninjago doesn't focus on powers enough. There isn't a specific season where they all have to unlock a new ability for their power to defeat the villains or anything. For a show about elements, it lacks element-to-element fights. It was great to see in Tournament of Elements in season 4, but other than Garmadon versus Lloyd in Sons of Garmadon and the mini-fight between Kai and Jay, epic and even emotionally racking element-to-element fights are lacking. Just a thought I've been pondering lately. I think that's certainly an interesting take to consider, especially because they're right. Ninjago is a show that focuses on elements, all things considered, and I find it ironic that even though most recent Ninjago seasons have tried to focus their attention on elements, it doesn't really come off to the perspective of a lot of viewers. For example, from season 11 onwards, every single chapter was supposed to focus on a specific elemental power, but apparently the show failed to reach some viewers out there. I agree, the show definitely needs to focus more on powers, and I would love to see more element-to-element fights like this user mentions, and I think the Kai and Jay fight during Ninjago Crystallized is a pretty good example of what Ninjago needs more of. Hot take: Greenflame, the Kai plus Lloyd ship, could have worked in the Ninjago story. This is a take that I included just because I think it would make for a very interesting discussion. Obviously with Ninjago ships, that's pretty much where hot takes go to die or go to prosper. Greenflame is almost unanimously hated across the entire Ninjago community by a lot of fans out there, and I can understand where people are coming from when they say that they don't like this ship, but a hot take is a hot take, and a hot take saying that it could have worked in the Ninjago story is certainly one that is to be spicy and controversial. Just what we were looking for. In terms of my own opinion on this, I'm not a huge fan of the Greenflame ship. I don't think it's the worst thing ever like a lot of other people do, and I often find that Ninjago Ninjago fans tried to make this ship appear worse than it actually is. But I don't think that it could have worked for the Ninjago story. I think they made the right decision in the canon ships that the series actually did end up producing. The people who write and make the Ninjago show always bring down some ninja in their character development which took place over the show in order to improve other characters and their arcs in the show. This can be seen for Jay, Kai, and Zane, as they have had little to no arcs since their respective seasons, while Cole, Lloyd, and Nia have had major character arcs and development. It would just be perfect if all of the ninja didn't have to sacrifice their character development in order for another character to get some development. I can see where this comment is coming from, but I'm not really sure if I agree. I feel like at this point in time, Ninjago has given equal development to pretty much all the ninja out there. Some would argue that characters like Lloyd may have had a little bit too much attention, but I think whenever a Ninjago season gives attention to one ninja, I don't think that they bring down some of the other ninja in order to make that other ninja have a lot of development. For example, in Master of the Mountain, which is primarily a Cole season, you didn't really see the character arcs of Kai, Jay, and the others get completely destroyed. Sure, they didn't have much to do, but they were still given their own respective arcs in general, which is better than nothing. So I'm not really sure if I agree with this one, though I do understand where this commenter is coming from. Hot take, Season 4 came way too early. I feel like Season 4 should have came later in the series, as Chen said, "I have all the power," but he didn't, as Nia had not unlocked her power yet, Mara was in the Departed Realm, and the Time Twins were somewhere else, and Wu was not there, so Chen could not get the power of creation. So it does not make too much sense, but we all still love Season 4. I agree, I do really like Season 4 quite a bit. It's my favorite season of all time for those that don't know, but I have to admit, as a season focusing on literally every power, they left out quite a few powers. Now I know that Ninjago lore has explained why Chen did not need all of those powers for his spell, as they were technically not active in Ninjago during the time of Season 4, but I never really thought of what might happen if Season 4 came later in Ninjago's run. For example, if the tournament plot was not a Season 4 plot, that could have been saved for maybe Season 6, and it would have featured a lot more elemental powers, and it would have included things like water and wind and possibly even time. And even though I love Season 4, I can't help but think of how the season might have been different if they would have waited a little bit longer to do the tournament plot. Ninjago needs more non-canon installments. Shorts like Reimagined and The Virtues of Spinjitzu were excellent and deserve to be recognized. The Lego Ninjago movie was the best way to take what the show had and change it into something new and interesting. Hopefully the future of Ninjago will have more good non-canon installments. So we have a couple of different takes here that I do want to talk about. First of all, Ninjago needing more non-canon installments. I'm not sure how many people would agree with that. A lot of Ninjago fans, especially that prioritize the show, really do not like the non-canon installments, as they feel like it's a waste of time. But I agree, the Reimagined shorts were really cool, and The Virtues of Spinjitzu, while not as great as they could have been, were still interesting, I guess. The Ninjago movie I really like, and I've made that no secret for a while. I love the Ninjago movie, and I feel like if you separate it from the show, it's perfectly fine on its own. But like I said, a lot of Ninjago fans would not prioritize those concepts. They would instead prefer the show and the series focus on actual canon events. But it's awesome to hear from a fan that actually likes the non-canon installments and wishes that Ninjago would do more of them in the future. Hot take, Core is an amazing theme. It opens the door for retreads of classic villains other than snakes and skeletons like Ninjroids and Ghosts, because we didn't get a lot of them in Legacy, and we've gotten some of the best Ninjago dragons, Zane's Ice Dragon creature and Lloyd's legendary dragon. I always like seeing some love for Ninjago Core. I know Ninjago Core isn't for everybody, but it certainly has its fans, and it certainly does benefit the Ninjago series in its own way. A lot of Ninjago fans don't really like Core though, just because they feel like it's a waste of time. And yeah, like this commenter said right here, they do have some pretty awesome sets in the Ninjago Core series, such as the dragons. That's a really good point. I know Ninjago Core isn't for everybody, but it's always fun to see some appreciation for Ninjago Core, and it just shows that Ninjago Core does reach fans out there. That's amazing. Hot take, I really like what they did with Oni Lloyd. Him almost succumbing to the darkness he fought his whole life moving past. He's told it was his birthright and that he has to come into the darkness, and he finally cracks, but he sees his reflection and realizes that compromising himself is not worth the win. And with that rejection of inherited darkness and the love and sacrifice of the ninja, he's able to embrace who he truly is, the Golden Master. This is a very positive take on the Oni Lloyd subplot of Ninjago Crystallized, which a lot of people infamously do not like. I myself feel like Ninjago Crystallized dropped the ball with the whole Oni Lloyd subplot, but it's awesome to see that some fans out there really appreciate what they did with Oni Lloyd, and they actually went ahead and made it a positive experience. I think that's an awesome way of looking at the Oni Lloyd plot, and it certainly provides a new perspective for me, and probably others as well who don't really care for the Oni Lloyd plot of Ninjago Crystallized. Hot take, the new ninja needed a lot more screen time. I found them pretty funny, and they worked with the context of the show. New mare, new ninja, and the fact that they're only there for the first part of Crystallized, and then they got Crystallized as soon as they had screen time again was sad. They could have teamed up for the final battle. It's a shame that that they didn't. I actually agree with this. I think the new ninja were definitely an interesting part of Ninjago Crystallized, and if the Ninjago series wanted, they could easily do more with the new ninja in upcoming seasons. I think they could have had a lot more to do in the Ninjago Crystallized season, though I can understand why the Ninjago series did not want to prioritize them in Ninjago Crystallized. I can tell the series wanted to focus on the actual ninja and having their story wrap up somewhat. So for the new ninja, maybe their time will come in a future season, I can only hope. The Ninjago Crystallized version of Garmadon was the best version of the character ever shown in the show. We finally get to see him be close enough to a father figure towards Christopher, and I love how you can tell that this is how he wanted to treat Lloyd, but never could. He's also finally a funny character, unlike the first 4 seasons of the show. He reminds me of movie Garmadon, which I love. I feel like in Ninjago Crystallized, Garmadon probably had the best design visually, though I'm not really sure if that's his best characterization overall. I more so prefer the Garmadon that we got in the Oni trilogy rather than the Crystallized Garmadon, and in fact I feel like the Oni trilogy Garmadon, especially towards the end, is much more like the movie Garmadon than the Crystallized Garmadon. But I can understand the appreciation for the Crystallized version of Garmadon, though I'm not sure if I would call that the very best version of the character that we've ever seen. I do think this commenter has a point though when they talk about the Christopher plot and how that is basically a parallel to how Garmadon wants to treat Lloyd but he physically can't. I think that's amazing, and when you think about it, that does make sense. Pixel and Zane's relationship needs development. They need some degree of conflict to make the ship actually interesting again. Ooh, pretty spicy take right there. Pixel and Zane are seen as Ninjago's golden couple. A lot of people would consider them to be the perfect couple. And out of every Ninjago ship out there, this one is basically universally praised among the entire Ninjago fan base. You hardly see anybody going against the Pixel and Zane ship. But I find it interesting that some fans don't really consider it to be a worthwhile ship. Maybe they do need some degree of conflict to make the ship a little bit more intriguing to the Ninjago audience. We've certainly seen the couple go through obstacles before, but nothing compared to couples like Jay and Nia, for example. So maybe Ninjago should do this in the future. Though I do like the idea of Zane and Pixel being this perfect couple and having them be the ideal example of what a couple should be compared to some of these other couples in Ninjago that need a lot of work. Hot take, I think the 10th anniversary Lloyd minifigure looks better without the half mask, and it makes him unique from the rest of the other ninja because they all have different masks while Lloyd doesn't have any. Yeah, so for those that don't remember, the 10th anniversary Golden Lloyd minifigure from Legacy does not have any sort of mask, only the traditional Lloyd haircut with the headband. And a lot of fans do not like that, myself included. I feel like he needs some type of mask. In fact, I personally have mine displayed with a green half mask. Ideally it would be gold, but you know, we take what we can get. But I find it interesting that some fans do not like the mask and instead they want the face to be just open and bare. It certainly does make him unique among the other ninja, but all of the other ninja are masked to some degree, so having Lloyd not have a mask, especially for people like me who need everything to be similar, that is pretty annoying. However, I can't see why some people do not like the mask. And finally here, this is the last one that we're going to be talking about. I just thought this one was hilarious and I had to include it. Hot take, Lloyd can fight Goku and beat him. I do have the facts. In season 3, when Lloyd still had his powers, Garmadon said that he hadn't even scratched the surface of his power. With this statement, it could be assumed that Lloyd was only using a small amount of his full potential. That is true. Lloyd's true power was never really showed to us as Ninjago fans. We always got hints that Lloyd's golden power could be more than what he actually had, but his power was lost way too quickly. I'm not really sure if Lloyd could beat Goku. I'm not really familiar with Dragon Ball, but for those Dragon Ball fans out there, who would win in a fight? Lloyd from Ninjago fully powered or Goku from Dragon Ball fully powered? I don't know, leave all your thoughts down below. And with that being said, guys, that'll conclude it for this round of Ninjago hot takes. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry I couldn't include everybody, but we had over 1,000 hot takes on that post, and I did look through all of them. I found the ones that I wanted to talk about, and we will definitely be doing more of these in the future. That is a New Year's resolution that I have. I want to make more of these hot takes videos, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the next one. Let me know down below in the comments which of these takes you thought was the spiciest and most controversial, and which ones do you find yourself agreeing with, if any. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys again really soon. Peace.